good morning. Welcome to What's On in Adelaide today. This morning we have a lot of fashion to enjoy, including a couple who select a wardrobe for each other. It should be fun. We cover hair and beauty, it's a makeover, cooking with the Michaels and flower arranging with Jan. But let's begin and chat with John Christian. John had an awakening experience in 1974 that changed his life. So let's find out more now with John Christian. Good morning, welcome to Adelaide today.
Jan. Thank you.
What happened in 1974, John?
I was actually in the middle of a peak of my career when I'd been pursuing fame and fortune. I'm doing quite well at it.
As a singer?
As a singer, comedian actually. I was a one-man show. I did comedy and impressions and variety. And I ran into a friend of mine who I'd met some years before who was interested in meditation. And they invited me to go and sit in the group with them that evening.
What did you think of people that meditated at that stage?
Well, even the word was like, strange to me, and only weird people did it, so I didn't really know what I was going along to. I went out of courtesy for my friend, really. And I sat down in this group, not really knowing what to do. Nobody told me what to do. They all closed their eyes and kind of went off into oblivion. And I think I was thinking, oh God, I could be down the pub or with the lads or something like that. So I closed my eyes, and to my amazement, and that's to shock at the time as well, I found myself actually inside and outside of my body all at the same time. So I became aware that consciousness isn't just encapsulated in the body. We're actually more intelligent than we're actually brought up to believe we are, and our consciousness spans through all things. So I had an experience of a sense of oneness with all of life, and at that time I wasn't particularly religious, but I knew that the experience I was having was what religious people termed as an experience of God consciousness.
So what have you done with all that?
Well, I've actually put that together now in an understanding that what we need to do is remember that. We need to remember that there's a far greater intelligence at work within us and all around us than we're actually tapping today. And even our education system is not teaching us to be aware of that. I think we have access to pure genius, and my life is actually an experience of that.
How do we do it?
We have to learn to calm the mind, calm the body.
Through meditation? So it wouldn't happen without meditation?
No, I think it does happen. In fact, the interesting thing today is that as I travel the world, I find that this kind of experience is happening to many people. It's like a tremendous awakening that's going on. A remembering, a remembering of our true self. And that every time we breathe in, we actually breathe in potential source of genius, and we actually tell that genius what to do. I mean, Emerson said that the universe is full of invisible stuff waiting to be told what to do, but we've basically...
So it's full of invisible stuff?
Yeah. That's what Emerson said. Now science, in smashing the atom so far, is discovering that there are smaller and smaller particles that we can measure with our instrumentation so far. But there is still a force that we can't quite measure at the moment because the instruments aren't sensitive enough. But in CERN in Switzerland, they're calling that force a unifying force. Here in Australia, as far as I understand, the same experiment, your scientists are calling it the truth particle, which I found fascinating because in scriptures they say the truth sets you free.
So how do you feel? You feel it's through breathing?
Yeah, it's just by actually teaching yourself to remember to be aware that every time you breathe in, you fill yourself with unlimited potential.
Have you had genius experiences since you've been doing this?
Well, I left school having failed school all the way through, and I was bottom of the bottom class all the way through until I had that first experience in meditation. And energy went through my body at that time that actually reached my brain. And there was a shift in energy in my brain, which I now know that modern brain research is exploring. And there's when the life force reaches the pineal gland in the center of the brain, there's literally a biochemical response that takes place, and an arc of light goes across the two hemispheres and from the top of the spine to the center of the forehead, and the whole brain starts to function as one unit, and you have direct access to intelligence that's already out there and in us, in the universe. It's a moment of enlightenment, they call it in spiritual terminology.
So So what has happened to you? Just quickly, we're nearly out of time,
I know, unfortunately. So what literally has happened to me is my whole concept of myself and life and my place within it and our place within it has changed. And as I travel the world now, I see that life is trying to get all of us to wake up and realise the potential that we have within us, and to take responsibility for retraining ourselves in the way we think, the way we speak, the way we act, the way we interrelate with each other, to be a good living example of the pure potential that we are. I believe we're in the midst of a spiritual renaissance, out of which tremendous things are going to be created.
I do too. I mean, so many people are talking about it. This is what people of the 90s are very interested in, and that's why, like yourself, you're travelling the world and spreading the word. We did see 2 cassettes on screen at the moment available, and it's John singing on those 2 cassettes. They're available at good record stores. We thank you for your time. You did have a successful seminar here on the weekend in Adelaide. You coming back to Adelaide?
Yes, I hope to come back towards the end of the year.
Let us know and give us some warning so we can let people know and they can come and see you.